The May 19th public hearing to order. We have a quorum, just barely. I guess the first thing, we have a brief explanation of, again, Bill.
My name is Bill Thompson, project manager with ADJOURNMENT Engineers, here for Andy and Susan Cody. We're here tonight for public hearing on the Meadowbrook Acres Phase 2. I've got a plan up here on the easel for everybody to view. Just a little summary of what the project involves. We're proposing 13 lots under the cluster subdivision ordinance. The 13 lots will occupy 28.6 acres of land. This land is a continuation of what Andy Cody has done, which was Meadowbrook Phase 1. We're going to come off the end of that road that was built, and about 1,150 feet of road, ending in a cul-de-sac to accommodate the 13 lots. In the cluster ordinance and the cluster design, the lots can be a little smaller than the underlying zone, which is 80,000 square foot. We have lots from 40,000 square foot or 1 acre to about 2.4 acres. There's a couple of large lots. And what the cluster allows you to do is to take that balance of land and put it in open space. So it's no denser development if we had done the 80,000 square foot lots, but that balance of land gets into open space. And we have approximately 10 acres of open space, which will be owned collectively by the homeowners and not be developed and be just available for everyone's enjoyment, and keeps it out of development, keeps it green, forested, and it just makes we believe makes a nicer neighborhood. All the lots will be served by on-site septic wells. We're going to continue the power from the end of Meadowbrook Phase 1. All the homes will have sprinkler systems for fire protection. We also have a fire pond at the end of Phase 1, which will certainly serve additional needs out there. So the fire pond at this point is I don't know, probably about 1 million gallons of water in there. It was dug out for additional capacity, and it also makes a nice focal point for this end of Phase 1 in the subdivision. So that'll be available, and then again, each home will be a sprinkler system. We have one stream crossing that comes down through lots 6 and 7. There is an existing gravel roadway that crosses that with a culvert, so we will not be proposing any additional impacts to that stream. There'll be no wetland fills associated with this. As part of our design and the review that we've been working with the town on, at the end of this road, there is presently an existing gravel road that comes down through here and connects onto Panoramic Drive, which is the road that comes down from Daring Ridge, comes up and serves Andy Cody and Sue Cody's home. So this existing gravel road that comes down through here, part of it will be obviously relocated, constructed to town standards. And at this point here, we're going to rebuild the section out to Panoramic Drive and make that available for an emergency access for fire and rescue. This will not be promoted as any main entrance to Meadowbrook. It will be upgraded to satisfy fire and rescue, and again, match back into Panoramic Drive. Panoramic Drive that continues down here is presently about 16 to 18 feet wide. It's a real, what I call it, a high-quality gravel road. It's got a good surface on it, and it's been maintained and deals well with what traffic it sees now. So again, we want to make sure this is just an emergency access road in the event something happened down here in Meadowbrook 1 or 2, and the need became apparent that we needed to get emergency vehicles in there. This access road would come in. Panoramic Drive coming down from Daring Ridge, again, is somewhere between 16 and 18 feet wide, and it does serve now for people coming in through here. But that'll be upgraded and, again, promoted just for emergency access. The project has been put on Main State Coordinate System, which was a request of the town so that it can be dropped into the GIS system, which is very helpful. It has been submitted to the Maine DEP for stormwater under the stormwater law, a permit, and it is there now, and we have a meeting June 1st to review the design and how we're managing the stormwater. So again, the lots, 13 lots fit in here with open space all around it. We've tried to minimize the impacts to everybody. The site is forested. We have had site walk and multiple meetings to get to this point. So with that, I'll turn it back to the board. Thank you.
Thank you. We would entertain any questions from anybody who's here. Would ask that you please come up and state your name and start. Okay.
My name is Aaron Torberg. I live at 83 Meadowbrook Drive. The site currently listed as Michelle and Michael's lot. I think it's mislabeled. The open space that they talk about, that's going to be owned by who?
You want me to answer questions?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
It'll be owned collectively by the 13 lots.
So is this going to be an association?
That's correct.
What is the current Meadowbrook phase? Is that an association?
No, that's conventional lot size. That'll be phase 1, correct?
Phase 1, yeah,
So they're going to be responsible for maintaining the open space?
yes.
On phase 2, correct.
It won't affect you at all, Maurice.
Phase 1 is a public road accepted by the town, so there are no issues there.
Okay. All right. I guess that's. And what was the reasoning for not making it a throughway to Deering Ridge?
Because if you want to get the way you
Okay.
Anybody else who has questions or comments?
Tim Cody, 44 Hooper Hill Road. I forget, is the proposed emergency access, is that going to be gated?
We're proposing that.
Proposing to be gated. I understand there's some discussion about making it non-gated. My primary concern with that is that people are going to start using this as a detour. I understand the need for emergency access protection in case of emergencies, but I think we need to evaluate all of the potential impacts of doing that. As the detour, it's probably going to be about a mile and a half shorter or so. And at 30, 40 miles an hour, that could be a 2-minute detour for people looking to come from up on the Hollis side of Townhouse Road, which is a state aid road, down onto Deering Ridge Road. So, we're going to be seeing extra traffic coming through this residential neighborhood. It's a very residential neighborhood right now, detouring off of a state aid road onto a local road. The road is going to deteriorate more rapidly. It's going to need more maintenance more maintenance and upkeep. It's going to be a burden to the taxpayers of the town. Now, certainly if there is a significant concern, a significant reason why we need to make this a throughway, then that needs to be considered. But at this point, I haven't heard any reasons that are really compelling. Why do we need to provide this throughway that needs to be open at all times? Why can it not remain gated? I'm not sure if it's for some cataclysmic event that might happen or what, but I think we need to look at the risks that we're trying to overcome. The health and safety concerns that we're trying to address for these residents. Balance that with potential future maintenance costs for the town. Balance that with the other side of the equation, the risks that are presented to the community, to the residents of Brookside by the additional cars coming through there. Where's the balancing act? Where's the tipping point? Is the risk we're overcoming by making it a throughway overcome by the fact that now we might have families and folks walking down the side of the road get hit by somebody trying to get from point A to point B in a hurry, distracted on a cell phone or whatever it happens. So I just want to be sure that whatever is being proposed here, especially for talking about making this a throughway, that's really warranted, and that the reason for doing that is a justifiable one, and that it's appropriate. So that's all I have.
Anybody else wish to speak?
The posted limit for this road is 15 miles an hour, so if your concern is people traveling 30, 40 through a mile and a half, 2 miles of densely populated subdivision, I mean, you really ought to just post a Waterboro Waterboro sheriff out there and generate some revenue, because that's way over the legal limit.
If I can add, monies from speeding tickets go to the state general fund, not to the town. And I think that the patrol officer for the town is already probably overworked, and no matter how much you enforce it, I think getting people to travel the speed limit on any of these back roads is a challenge at best. And I bet if we did a speed study out there, you'd find that most people are going 30, 40 miles an hour anyways, even the residents that live on that road.
Is there anybody else who wishes to
So
make a
whether,
comment?
whether it's closed off or if it's not, heading toward Deering Ridge, if it sounds like speed is the concern, and especially where now that's going to be an association, I mean, what kind of hoops do we have to jump through to maybe even just put a few speed bumps through there? If we're concerned about those other 13 houses or anybody else that might
Yeah.
travel through there.
I mean, I'm all for adding them straight down Meadowbrook Drive too. I mean, the first phase of this, I mean, people still travel too fast.
Continue it down to Brookside.
Is there anybody else who would wish to speak or ask a question? Hearing no others, I guess I will. Yeah.
I'm not really sure what your position are. Are you in favor of having a throughway or not having a throughway?
Well, you know, we live in a position where having it a throughway we don't feel would increase the traffic or decrease the traffic. Seeing it as a shortcut coming from Deering Ridge Road to Townhouse Road, it does pose, I guess, some risk there, but at the same time, it's a very windy passage. It's not something you can travel at any rate of speed. It's using it as a shortcut is not logical. I mean, anybody that's ever been down Deering Ridge Road in an attempt to make it faster than taking Deer Wanderer Road?
Deering Ridge and Roberts Ridge.
Deer Wanderer Road versus Deering Ridge Road, the time savings is nil, even though one is significantly shorter than the other, and the shorter one is bumpy, windy, and it doesn't promote the excess traffic.
So basically what you're saying is because Panoramic Drive and the access road is built narrower, it kind of slows things down.
Not Panoramic Drive and the access road, but I'm saying even the turn off of Meadowbrook onto Brookside and also the bend at the end of Meadowbrook. Neither of them promote speeds in excess of 30, 35 miles an hour. Which, again, is 15 to 20 over the posted limit.
So I'm trying to figure out where the speed bumps come in.
Well, the speed bumps would be great anywhere along this path. I mean, every tenth of a mile, that'd be fine. Or probably not every tenth of a mile. That's pretty short.
And especially if it's going to be closed off. If it's not a throughway, I don't see what the difficulty would be in doing that. And I don't understand the whole process. I'm sure the plows wouldn't want them there, but if it's cut off at the end of that subdivision and it's gated and nobody's going to be coming through there anyways, if we could at least slow down the traffic that does come through there. And
Especially on the straight shot that is Meadowbrook, the front face of Phase 1 Meadowbrook, crossing the pond. There are a lot of kids that enjoy going down there and riding their bikes. A lot of kids that enjoy, the wildlife down there. There are frogs, ducks, all sorts of stuff. And there's often a lot of foot traffic. Dogs. Everybody's got dogs. They all go down there.
Is there any other questions or comments? Hearing none, I guess I will. Yeah, sure.
Jeff Cody, I live at the end of Meadowbrook, Phase 1 right now. I personally would not want to see it as a throughway. I do see a lot of people using that trail as a shortcut to get to the dump and wherever else they're going. Since I'm the last house, I see them all the time going by. So I do not think it should be a throughway because there will be twice as many cars coming through. Thank you.
Is Anybody else?
I think I agree with that. I guess I'm confused about the gate, like, if it's gonna be open
Yeah.
for emergency purposes.
Who's gonna open the gate? Is it gonna be padlocked by the?
Probably be like a Knox box that the fire department could open if they needed to go, and whoever was plowing the road could also get through there.
Is it gonna be plowed?
Oh, yes, yeah, it would be, if you're going to
It'd be a
have an
designated fire
emergency
road?
access, you need to have it open 12 months a year, so that, just in case there's an emergency, the fire trucks or people trying to get out would be able to get through there.
Does it become a town fire road?
It's going to be a private, at the present time, it's probably going to remain a private road, owned by the association. There's going to be an association, and the association will be responsible for maintaining this.
So the town would plow up to the new subdivision, they'd come around and plow up the fire access, and then the subdivision would be responsible for their stretch.
I think we plow the whole thing, yeah. They go around the circle there
Yeah.
and back out.
Phase one or phase?
Phase two, right?
Well, they're proposing up to the circle there to be accepted. It's not at the present time, but they're proposing that to be accepted as a town road. So that would be plowed by the town. Is that my correct?
Clarify what it is that
Phase
where
one.
you folks live right now was plowed and taken care of by the town.
Yeah.
It really has nothing to do with this new project. You're not going to be responsible for any open space or anything else. What this new project is going to do is create more traffic in your area. And then if there's a throughway going through there and it's not gated, there may be even more traffic going through that area. So that's what I want. The throughway would be maintained year-round, and we would like to gate it. I think there's some discussion on the board whether it should be gated. I would like to have the ability to gate it to be able to stop every Tom, Dick, and Harry from going through there, and not gate it on a regular 24 hours a day all the time, but just on occasion when it gets out of control, gate it for a little while, let everybody know, let emergency services know, and just block it off with a small ribbon or a small rope or something.
Similar to the way the path has been handled currently.
Yes, exactly, the way it's handled currently. And that path would no longer be a path, it'd be upgraded to the same width as Panoramic Drive. Well, there's some talk about, some board members want a 24-foot wide, which I think is extreme. We're trying to leave it the same width as Panoramic Drive to keep that traffic moving more slowly and not to make it so enticing to be a throughway. So I'm not sure if that clarifies anything.
Yeah, because right now, phase one up to this point is a public road, so the town plows it, maintains it. This phase two, through the cul-de-sac, is proposed to be a town road. It has to be accepted, I'm not sure the process, if it's a vote or how it works, but in the event the town does not accept this road here, that will become maintained by the homeowners association. The road from here all the way out to Panoramic Drive will be plowed and maintained by the homeowners association. At this point right here at the intersection, back down, would not be proposed as a town road.
The homeowners association would cover the.
Exactly.
all the
Homeowners
expense.
association would be responsible for plowing this and maintaining this. With the gated access here for emergency, our feeling there is if there's an emergency, the first responders or police, fire, rescue, whatever the event is going on in Meadowbrook, is that they have the ability to unlock this and then allow traffic to come out of here if it needs to, or just to get fire rescue in here to respond to that accident. So we just don't want to have people coming down Deering Ridge, coming up through and going down to the town hall or wherever. And, the fewer cars that don't belong in this neighborhood by either residents or visitors, my feeling or the client's feeling is that let's not let them keep coming up through here. And it impacts what's going on here. So we can gate it, that's our goal. Maintain the width. We have Panoramic Drive coming up here is 16 to 18 feet wide.
Width and quality?
Pardon?
Width and quality?
Yes. Yep.
All right.
Okay.
This might be separate to the traffic, but the open space, that 8 acres,
Down in here?
Yeah.
would be owned by the subdivision.
Correct.
And they could.
They'd have,
Owned by
they'll
the
have,
association.
yeah,
Well, by
they'll-
the,
yeah, correct. They'll have homeowners docs, association docs that will dictate what they can do. If they wanted to do you know, a little skating pond out here or something, walking trails.
Preserve the natural
This is gonna say that's preserved
Preserve the
wetland.
natural
Yeah.
state.
That's
Yeah,
not.
exactly, yeah. We'd have to look at the quality of the land to see what could or couldn't be done, but at a minminimum, allow some walking
You
trails.
made it sound pretty glamorous. It's not
Yeah,
glamorous.
well, yeah, not every part of that 8 acres is unusable.
But so it's not untouchable land.
It's controlled by the homeowners association. What they do, they have to vote on it and
Okay.
maintain to their regulations. And then if it needs a permit from the town, they have to deal with the town. Okay?
Is everybody satisfied? Any more questions, comments? Hearing none, I will close the public hearing and open the regular planning board meeting. The first item on the agenda is Meadowbrook Acres. And we're going for a preliminary plan, I believe. Do we have a,
I think we gotta hear from Steve before we
oh, yeah.
do anything.
We have a, would you tell everybody, please, who you are and
Yeah,
why,
my name's Steve Stearns, I'm with Pinkham and Greer. We've been hired to evaluate the width of this proposed alternate access. Only the width of the travelway and the shoulders was my understanding. So with that in mind, that's exactly what we did. I have a letter. I have a bunch of copies of the letter, if I can put my hand on it. It's addressed to Mr. Nelson, as requested. I'll hand it to you.
thank you.
Okay, I was asked to do a couple of things here, several things. One of them was to measure the current width of Brookside Drive. So I did that. I went out and measured it in 3 places. I measured it about 100 feet off of Townhouse Road. I measured it somewhere in the middle and up near the end of the road. The average width of that road is somewhere around 24 feet 4 inches. Some places it was, well, the first place I measured it was 25 and a half feet. Another place it was 23 and a half, and one other place it was a little over 24. It all averaged out to be about 24 feet wide, with shoulders roughly 3 feet wide. Some places more, but very, very few places less. I also went over and measured the width and length and wheelbase of the ladder truck and tank 1, the fire department. And the reason for that was I was charged with looking at what the road width should be if these 2 vehicles, the 2 largest pieces of emergency equipment in the town, had to pass each other in opposite directions going through this alternate access way. The ladder truck has a width of about 8 feet, outside to outside on the wheels, or the chassis, however you want to do it, it's about the same. And tanker 1 was a little over that, 8 foot 3 inches. The mirrors project out about 9 inches from the sides. So if you were going to put these 2 trucks down the road and have them pass each other without clipping the mirrors, the road would have to be about 18 feet wide. I also reviewed the American Association of State Highway and Transportation Officials manual. It's called the Policy on Geometric Design of Highways and Streets, 2001. It's the 4th edition. They talk a lot about the minimum width of traveled way and shoulders. And then there's an exhibit in that guide that I couldn't copy because it's illegal to copy it. But anyway, Exhibit 5.5 of Chapter 5 of that manual suggests a minimum traveled way width of 18 feet and a shoulder width of 2 feet for local rural roads with a design volume under 400 vehicles per day, and a design speed of up to 40 miles an hour. The width didn't change, with design speeds of 15 to 40 miles an hour. It was all an 18-foot traveled way and 2-foot shoulders. I also looked at, a little further on in the chapter, they also look at local, urban, and special purpose, urban and special purpose local roads. The urban road doesn't really apply, it's not an urban environment. Special purpose roads I didn't feel really applied either after reading the descriptions. They cover roads that, for recreational use, resource recovery roads like timber harvesting and that kind of thing, and then local service roads, which are considered pretty low volume, dead-end roads that service maybe a recreational area or a campground or a boat launch or something like that. So I didn't really feel those types of roads were what we were looking for here. And then thirdly, I looked at the DOT standards, the Maine Department of Transportation Highway Design Guide, last revision, I think was December 2004. I reviewed that, but that's based entirely on the American Association of State Highway and Transportation Association policy. So it's the same thing as the first one, 18-foot travel way, 2-foot shoulders. And finally, I took a look at what other towns around here are doing. I looked at the ordinances, the zoning ordinances, and the subdivision standards in the towns of Alfred, Buxton, Hollis, Sanford, and Shapley. And most all of these towns, these ordinances, require a second means of access to a subdivision if you're going to have either more than 15 dwelling units in the subdivision, or if the subdivision generates a traffic volume of 200 trip-ins per day. So I took a look at these ordinances and picked the roads that I thought met that standard in terms of this being a private way for emergency vehicle use mainly. That's the concern. We know it'll get used by other people periodically, but the main concern here is emergency vehicles. And for example, in Alfred, for a private right-of-way, the minimum traveled way width is 18 feet, the minimum shoulder width is 3 feet. In Buxton, travel way width is 20, minimum shoulder width is 2 feet. Hollis, 18 feet and 3 feet. Sanford private way, which serves 3 homes, no more than 3 homes. When you build more than 3 homes, you have to upgrade it to a local road standard. But for the private way standard, minimum traveled way width is 16 feet, and they have no shoulder requirement. And in Shapley, a minor street has a minimum traveled way width of 20 feet with a minimum shoulder width of 3 feet. Okay, on the basis of this review, it's my conclusion or my opinion that standard practice in the area, a road with a minimum traveled way width of 22 feet and a minimum shoulder width of 2 feet for a total overall roadway width of 22 feet would probably be what I would consider a standard practice, standard design practice in this area. That's as far as I've gone with it. I wanted to hear what was said tonight and see if the planning board had any more direction for me.
Say that again, I'm sorry.
What's that?
Would you say that again?
Say what?
Your recommendation?
My opinion.
Your opinion, yes,
My opinion
whatever, yes.
is that standard practice in the area of a road width and shoulder width, in this area supports a private roadway width of 22 feet. The 22 feet would include 18
Okay.
feet of traveled
2
way
feet.
and 2-foot shoulder on each side, okay? And I think that's what was asked of me,
Yes, thank you.
okay?
Does anybody have any questions or for Steve?
No, that's exactly what we asked him.
Yes, it is. Thank you very much. Good job. Where do we go from here? Yeah.
Just wanted to comment on Steve's response and then compare it against the Waterboro Fire Department. You know, Steve did a good job. It talks, you know, mostly the smallest road or the least classification, if you will, is private ways for, you know, few traveled vehicles. And he came up with a 22-foot wide total unobstructed surface width. Our goal for this road, until any further development is done out there, is emergency access. We're not looking for, you know, everyday travel, passing vehicles, et cetera. Fire and rescue, that's our key element here. The dead-end road length has been exceeded. We haven't asked for a waiver, which we've been granted in the past, and it is allowed in your ordinance. Doesn't mean to be granted, but we're not asking for a waiver. We're asking for, due to the fact that Andy Cody owns the land to the south and can provide this emergency access, we think we're making a whole lot safer and better situation out there. So I guess I'd like to fall back to the Waterboro Fire Chief's letter, and for the fire department access road shall have an unobstructed width of not less than 20 feet. Unobstructed width to me means everything, edge to edge, top of the shoulder, or top of the ditch.
Not less than,
Pardon me?
not less than, correct?
Correct. Not less than 20 feet. We have 16 to 18 feet wide out there now. Andy's indicated that this fire chief's letter, you know, a 20-foot width, we feel would be fair, based on the width of the trucks and the measurements that Steve came up with. Again, we're not promoting any high-speed traffic out here. God forbid if there is an emergency and we need to open this up for a fire or whatever, some care and prudence has to be maintained by the fire and safety and anybody traveling that road. So we'd like to, you know, again, have the board consider what the fire chief has submitted for his letter on that roadway. Thank you.
I think, you know, to me, the road issue's got to be settled, and, you know, that's the key to the whole
Sometime
thing.
sooner or later, yes.
I don't think we can give preliminary plan approval until we have that issue out of the way. I
Seems-
read the letter from the fire chief, just a little bit different. I say he's calling for a 20-foot travel way plus two-foot shoulders. You know, we're getting down to you know, almost incidental when you start talking the difference between 22 and 24 feet. I mean, it's you know. And I guess we're out of the public hearing, but I don't know that everybody here understands the whole thing. Does anybody here live in Brookside, the original Brookside? That road was originally built for some 18 houses. There's now in excess of 53 houses, I think, using that road. My concern has always been that we have caused people in Brookside a lot of extra traffic going by their house with no other way out. I hear people talk about using this as a through road. I wonder how many people work in the Biddeford, Saco, Portland area who it would be 2 or 3 miles shorter if they could just go out through Brookside, I mean, up through Meadowbrook and the Panoramic Drive and onto Deering's Ridge and go across that way rather than going back out on the Townhouse Road. and then turning left and coming up the Deering Ridge Road. And in case of a catastrophic problem, there's going to be 63 houses trapped in with only one way out and a possible gate. I find that hard. I don't believe putting a 22-foot or a 24-foot wide access road out of there is beyond the capabilities of being built. So that's where I'm getting my opinion from. There's a huge safety issue in there. There's a tremendous amount of houses, there's a tremendous amount of traffic flowing over a road that was designed for less than a third of the traffic that's going over it.
Would you like to make a motion, or we're kind of spinning our wheels here?
Just another, I know it's not public anymore. He has a private road that goes out there. It's his property. And my understanding that if he didn't have that, if he owned that land, that it was just woods all the way to Deering Ridge, that development wouldn't be possible because we'd be too far with no way out. Am I understanding that right?
Our ordinance says that the maximum length for a dead-end road is 6,000 feet.
600.
600, yeah, 6,000.
So,
And that has already exceeded that. So whether or not he would be given,
yes.
whether or not he would be given a waiver for this is to be seen. I think from what I see with the opinion of the board, that would probably not be a likely thing to happen. But I can't say that for sure.
To go a step further, there's a 50-foot right-of-way through Brookside. And this board has the authority, if a developer wants to develop it, not necessarily Mr. Cody, but any developer wants to expand that, we could require them to put a 2-lane road in there. We could require them to split Brookside and put a 1-lane in and a 1-lane out, if they wish to develop it, okay? Which in fact would equal 2 roads. The precedent's been set in Wyndham, the precedent's been set in Gorham, the precedent's been set in Scarborough, the courts upheld it, so there is, these are things. It just seemed like, from my personal position, that it was better to have a road that some of the traffic could go the other way and maybe cut down on the amount of traffic that's going out through Brookside, because people who bought in there and lived in there with no addition to it for many, many years, now seeing an extra almost, 38 houses, the traffic of 38 houses going by them every day.
We have the width of the road and whether or not it will be gated. I think we need to make a decision. Would anybody like to make a motion as to?
Well, we don't really have a proposal from Mr. Cody as to what he'd like to do. I think it's, behoves you to make us a proposal.
He has
Yeah.
a proposal. I think it's pretty clear to me that he wants a 16 to 18-foot road and the ability to gate it. I think we agree on the surface and that part, but I think it's just the width and whether or not it will be.
Steve, you didn't make any recommendation as to the surface of the road.
No,
We
I
didn't
didn't.
ask him.
I talked with, it wasn't the chief, but I talked to one of the guys at the fire department, because I saw that, talked about an all-weather surface, and I wanted to be clear that what that was, and they told me that a gravel road was an all-weather surface, so the way I view it is gravel road will work.
Well, it's going to be a private road,
Private,
and,
gated,
and eventually there's going to be, possibility of more work up in there. I think a gravel surface, especially with a little bit of wrap on it, would be fine.
I think that would be, for this use, I think that would be fine.
I'm still pretty much stuck on 20 feet, 2 and 2.
I'm sorry, you said for this use, for emergency use.
As it's
Pri-
proposed.
Private, occasional, and emergency use only. It's not going to be it's not designed to be the primary means of access to the homes.
I
And
think
that's- It has to be maintained that way.
And then Mr. Foglio here has requested that it be a throughway for safety reasons. If it becomes a throughway for safety reasons and also, the division of traffic, out either end, do you still recommend it be gravel with the?
Yes, I do, because the
I
through
didn't think that
traffic is
was an
going to be
issue,
controlled
but we had,
By the gate?
by the gate.
That's if there were a gate.
But that's if there's a gate. Mr. Foglio would like to open it, I believe, to public. Is that?
Well,
correct?
let me stick my 2 cents worth in here.
I'm just trying to understand that.
Well, it's not an easy issue. It really is a lot of stuff coming together just to deal with the road. One of the things that planning board is really tasked to do is plan. We're supposed to look ahead. We're supposed to see where this is going. Is this the line? We've already had one waiver for a road that's over the 600 feet. We're now having a second development. We're up to 80, 80 some odd houses, I guess, total by the time we're done. We have no planning presented to us for what's going to go on beyond this. Mr. Cody does own, or somebody's going to own the land beyond that. We can all like to believe that nothing will ever be touched in that and it'll never be developed. That's not going to happen. We're supposed to look ahead with that. So we're going to end up with a through road. Sooner or later, there's going to be more development in there. It's one of the things that we're tasked with. We're supposed to look at that. Can we just give another waiver? And in effect, that's what we're doing if we give a gate. We're saying, okay, and we'll just block it off. We'll worry about it when the next development comes along. That's part of the problem, is do we do that? Do we sit back and say, okay, we'll hang 10 again and just not worry about it until the next development comes along? Or do we make a judgment call now and say it's going to have to be a through road? It'll have to be up to town standards, at least for a dirt road, so the next group doesn't get stuck with the same problem?
I guess,
And that's my observation as one of the newer members of the planning board, having just come from the road review committee and having dealt with this stuff for a while. So it's a different perspective, It's hard sitting on that side if you've just come into it. There's more to it than just meeting regulation. It's that planning board part that really complicates things. Complicates, it makes them fun. You got to think ahead.
Okay, we've tried to put a proposal forward. We've tried to outline everything, some of your concerns. Mr. Cody said let's go 22-foot wide, top of ditch, full travel, 22-foot
Can I
wide.
stop you for a second?
Yeah.
What does the town standard say?
That's what we're trying to determine.
What does the road standard say for a,
It depends.
There really
It depends
isn't one.
What you want to call the road.
if that's
The
a through
minimum.
road,
Yeah.
that's going to be brought up to town standards for the amount of traffic down
accepted
there,
road, it has to be 24.
it's got to be 24. If you bring it up to town standards for the amount of traffic, you figure 83 homes, and what they figure is 1.5 times that, 3 times that.
The way I read this ordinance, if you hand it out to me, the street design standards, if they are current and in place, a collector road, let's use that classification, will carry up to 150 residences, no more than, okay? 150 residents. It says in here to me, the pavement width, 22 feet, and then shoulders on top of that.
And then shoulders on top of that, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So what we're saying, we're still not trying to call this a collector road unless further development is done, which we said at our last meeting. If any more development is done by Mr. Cody or a new owner that needs to utilize Panoramic Drive and the interconnection here, he will make that road up to the ordinance standards. So
And I think that's really what I just
I think
just
that's
said.
good.
If we have more development.
But
we're
why
supposed to
can't that be a
plan
condition of this one, that let's make this emergency access road through, 22 feet wide, which, we're getting bigger and bigger, and I think that's a good,
Yep.
a good width. We've all talked about 20 being maybe okay. Now we're at 22 for emergency access only. We don't want, and I don't think most of the neighbors in there, they don't want through traffic in through here. We talk about 60 homes or whatever. That's really not a lot of traffic. You take a look at other neighborhoods, you take a look at areas around the state of Maine, roads go on for thousands of feet, miles, with one way in, one way out. And you don't read too many press releases of issues. So I really think let's say the 60 homes in there.
And to their credit, this town is filled with places like that. That are loaded with. We have a place called Lake Arrowhead, just got more, that's a third of the
Right.
town, it's all dead-end drive.
Right.
So, but that's not our task is different.
No, our task is, and what we're trying to present is, what do we propose? And we would like to make, as part of this plan, redo Panoramic Drive and the connection up to Meadowbrook, 22-foot wide, total width, which we believe will satisfy what Steve Stern says, what the fire chief says, and any further development, we can make it a condition of approval. We relook at the Panoramic Drive and the connector and bring it up to the standard that's in place with the town. So I think
guess-
that's a good,
Get things moving.
that's a good
I'm ready to make
proposition.
I'm ready to make
Oh,
a motion
well,
after
okay, I was
after we
just-
get through the checklist.
Go ahead, I was going to
We
do
gotta
that.
get through the
yeah.
checklist. Tom,
we
you have
have
an updated checklist?
The checklist has already been submitted. I didn't do an updated one because it was subject to Steve's report and the...
Is it in this,
Should
is the
be in the
checklist in this
folder.
file
Yeah.
here?
You have one?
I got one right here,
There we go.
I don't know if it's possible to ask a question.
Yeah, sure.
If it were to become a throughway, who then maintains it?
It
Because,
would be maintained by the association of these 12, 13 homes. There will, once the lots are sold, there will be an association that will maintain the open space and the road, just the connector road. Hopefully, they're assuming that the big road will be accepted by the town, and that will be taken care of by the
the
town.
connector road being
But
all
we're
the
just-
way out to Panoramic?
Yeah, it doesn't have a name yet.
Okay, because that's a gravel road with throughway traffic, that's going to be a large burden for that association. As a private road, keep maintaining a gravel road with that amount of traffic is going to be a lot less of a burden. But as a
Well, we're
throughway
not-
to maintain
we're
a
not
dirt road
proposing
that
it.
length is going to be a very expensive burden on those 13 homes.
The connector road will remain private at this time, okay? It's just what do you call that road?
Meadowbrook Drive.
Meadowbrook Drive that goes down to the circle. Let's see.
And Pierre, I ought to interject, while you bring roads up to town standards, which is what we're asking to do, it would be nice to think that the town would then take them over. It doesn't work that way. You've got to have a vote, generally in a town meeting, to accept a road. Whether it's gold-plated or gravel or whatever, it still goes to town meeting, and somebody has to wait and say, we'll accept it. So it's nice, we do a lot of it, but it's not an automatic thing.
Okay, so should we go through the checklist? Is everybody
Well-
ready to do that? or-
There was some waivers. Did we grant all the waivers
No,
that they requested?
no, I think we should just go down the list
Yes,
and
we should have through it
be
again.
sure that it's all,
At
yeah.
what point, you know what I'm
Tom.
gonna ask, I want this on the main regional.
What's that?
You know what I'm gonna ask, I want this sent over to Southern Maine for,
What?
at what point do I ask for that?
Doug?
Well, I guess we can do that either before or after preliminary before we go to final.
Probably before.
Yes?
I was talking in board about the question of waivers. You had started that discussion. The applicant and his engineer submitted 4 waivers to you. In the best of my memory, there's still one outstanding waiver out there, and that's the waiver regarding the amount of improvements in bond as a prerequisite. The applicant had requested that. I believe that you started the discussion, but there was never a vote for it.
Actually, I thought we were waiting to have a meeting with the selectmen to discuss that very issue before we did that.
Okay.
That's the way I remember it.
When I look down through this, I see item number 6, the culverts. Has that been addressed?
There are the roadway sheets have been submitted to DEP as part of their review for
Okay.
stormwater.
So that's all taken care of. And How about the names? Have you named this?
We have not named that connector road yet. Have we named it?
No?
We can come up with a name pretty easy.
Okay. Might as well call it Connector Road. Do we come up with homeowners bylaws yet, or is it the maintenance of this road? No.
Not yet, no.
Okay.
The attorney's working on those.
What does that
I have a
mean?
question on that. And maybe this has already been answered. We're saying that, you're saying that the residents of this new section are going to be the ones to maintain this emergency exit road?
That's correct.
Is there going to be some kind of a bond that will guarantee that that emergency road will be maintained properly? And is that something that we need to include in the bond for this project? Especially if there's only 2 lots sold and all of a sudden those 2 people have to come up with money for
Well,
maintaining
Andy
that
Cody
road?
would be the other 11 lots, so he would be responsible for that
Okay.
until all the
Okay.
lots are sold. But this wouldn't be any different than a private way, the homeowners association being responsible. I don't think there's a bond in place for a residential private way, so I don't see this
Well,
being...
that kind of reneges it being something that's going to be open to fire
Well-
vehicles. If nobody's going
Well,
to,
that's the mandate of the approval, and in everyone's deed, that their responsibility is to
Okay,
maintain.
that's what-
maintain-
that's
Will be
yeah.
in the...
And it'd be
in
in the homeowners
deed.
association and the deeds, that they are responsible for 1/13 of the responsibilities of the homeowners association, including an emergency access road. If at any point in time it's reviewed as impassable by anybody, fire, rescue, whatever, then the hammer comes down on the homeowners association.
It will be in the deed also.
We can make it
Okay.
part of the, yeah,
Certainly.
yeah,
Because homeowners' rules can be changed by a vote. can they
absolutely. The
not?
homeowners association can change, but the mandate is that this road needs to be maintained
Yeah.
year-round. No exceptions.
When you make it part of the approval, and I'm sure that it can be noted on the plan as well as in the deed, that's why you get a copy of the sample deed. The
Yeah.
sample deed becomes part of the final plan,
Yeah.
and that is law. If anybody fails to do that, then, you have a violation of the terms of the approval, and the subdivision goes into hold if there's any remaining lots. But Frank, you would like to, you want to know, you got a question, and you want to know how to answer it.
Well, my question is, I'm going to ask that this be submitted to Southern Maine Regional Planning for review, just like we used to do in the past for years. I want to see an outside one. This is big enough that I'd like to see a review. It's part of our thing. We're a membership over there. I'd like it reviewed.
I'll second that.
Well,
Are you making that a motion?
I just did, yes.
How do you waive that? I'm checking my notes here. Excuse me.
We waived what?
I believe you waived that requirement in our list of waivers here that we submitted.
Where did we ever waive that?
Let's see.
if we waive third-party review, because it was over DEP.
Well, the DEP covers other stuff. It's not going to cover everything Southern Maine Regional Planning does.
We did request a waiver, soil erosion sedimentation control plan endorsed by York County Soil and Water Conservation. I don't have the vote written on my copy here.
But that doesn't, that's not the same thing as Southern Maine.
That's not the same thing.
Okay.
It's entirely different thing. It's something we've normally done in the past quite
Yeah,
often.
I've worked with them before, yeah, yeah.
You know,
I went over the last couple that we did in past years and looked, Southern Maine Regional Planning for those newcomers. I don't know how to describe it. It just covers your county? All Southern Maine? They do reviews
Yeah.
of subdivisions.
Yep.
And these are the guys, they keep on top of all the latest regulations, rules and regulations, and will come back with a sheet.
Yeah, I know.
But,
I was letting Frank finish.
no, Tom was waving at you, he
Yeah.
wanted to say.
wait a minute, And they give guidance back to a planning board. You say, this is nice, you've done all your stuff right, did you mention this? Have you seen this? It's an easy catch-all. It's oh gosh, and they generally send back a review. They're usually pretty quick, and we generally send a copy to the developer, we get a copy, so we go into the next meeting, we're clear and we're happy.
Financially, is that part of our dues, or is that a fee in excess?
To the town of Waterboro.
What?
Which traditionally has been made with the
Pay
developer.
that, the applicant.
Mrs. Chairman, there may be a bit of redundancy in this. I mean, we've gone through the checklist, we know all the deficiencies, and the applicant and the engineer have said there's 3 or 4 deficiencies that are presently on your table. If the Regional Planning Commission reviews this, and those same things aren't done, they're just going to report back to you that those are deficient items because they don't have the homeowners association laws.
So you'd like it done a little bit later in the process, is that what you're saying?
No, I think it's a redundancy. I've already gone through the checklist for you. I mean, it's...
Steve Stearns has reviewed the road.
And Steve's reviewed the road. I think, look, there's still some legal issues out there regarding, having the homeowners association bylaws and those things before you can progress to preliminary approval. Given that there still are some pieces missing, my suggestion to the board would be that those deficiencies that are brought up tonight be submitted. We look at those, and then you'll have a full application. At this point in time, you don't have all the information that's required.
So you're saying we need to wait until all this stuff, then before we submit it to something?
And at that point, you may not have to submit it.
Wait a minute, I'm looking at this in the history in Waterboro.
Unless you want to
Going
have...
back through some of the records, and
Yeah.
I'd like to have that outside.
Well, I think in the past, Frank, that was done because you didn't have a town planner.
Yep.
So if you want a second set of eyes to my eyes, then that's the board's discretion to do that.
I'm looking at the fact we pay them $1,800 a year, and I guess I'd like to use the service.
Well, that's a fee that the municipality pays, but then there'll be an additional charge for their review that either the town or the applicant will have to pay.
Which traditionally, who is paying you?
Applicant.
Okay.
I think the plan is right. I mean, they're going to go through and review the preliminary plan requirements. That's what we've all done. And,
Yep.
and we understand there's a couple of missing items. The biggest thing we wanted to accomplish tonight is what is going to be asked of us on this road. So I can finish the design, whether I need to go out there and do some more surveying and get that road on the plans.
To get by that, which I think, that we need to get by that road issue myself, I was prepared to make
Okay.
Tom wants to say something else.
Oh,
Sorry, one more thing. 2 more things, actually. It may be helpful in this decision-making for the board to make its a decision or a consensus vote as to whether there's a gate or not. And then lastly, an important issue that will surface, if not in preliminary, certainly in final, is that the right-of-way is as important as the traveled way. And so when you look into phase 3, you want to make sure your connector is of the proper right-of-way, and that right-of-way would be my suggestion to the town and to the planning board that that's designated on the plan. The right-of-way is as important as the traveled way.
Mr. Cody has stated in the past that he intended to make this a 50-foot right-of-way out through there, and all the way to the Deering Ridge Road, unless
what
I
I
misunderstood it. I thought that was already
that's all,
understood.
yeah, okay.
Okay, so that the right-of-way is at 50 feet, and that's what's required, I believe, by all our town ordinances.
We meet all the curve there.
I didn't think there was a problem with that.
Unless it goes to a major collector road, which arterial jumps to 60 feet. But I think we need to put to bed some of these issues, and let's finish the checklist, Judy, that would
Yeah,
be the first thing.
we're going around in circles here. Okay, we need the name of the road. We need the homeowners association bylaws. We handled the location of the buildings, I believe, that's
Correct, that was
been
waived,
solved,
yeah.
yeah. The soil and erosion, do we,
That's going to DEP.
They got that one,
That's there
okay.
now, yep.
a geologist on the groundwater, I thought we
Waive that.
waived that. Yeah. So we have the bond goodie to play with. That seems to be the last one that has not been addressed, has it?
Correct. Yeah, it was a waiver request, and I believe that Frank had the summary on that it was going to go to the selectmen as a...
That's the last I knew, is we were supposed to be meeting with the selectmen to discuss it. No matter what we do, unless we make it a condition, I guess Doug says we can actually make it a condition of the acceptance, but if we pass it to the selectmen, they don't have to do anything. They don't have to keep track of it.
Well, we need to meet with the selectmen.
Correct.
That's something it's on the agenda, is to set a date.
Okay, I
to
thought we
meet.
had decided that, okay, right. Fine.
Tom's waving his hand again.
Yeah. What?
As I recall, the board had decided that it would be best to wait until after town meeting to have that
That's
meeting
right.
with the selectmen, because many decisions would be made. Road commissioner would be determined, it would be in a much better position to talk with the selectmen. So that's for the board left at last.
Well, if
And
I-
we need to come up with a final estimate, and I can't do that until I
Right.
get some direction.
There's some...
So I can put a number
Down on the
together
checklist.
for analysis.
Yeah, I guess we're not going to solve any more. Those are going to just be
Well,
pending.
To me, we have the deed, the homeowners association, the 50-foot right-of-way, and the gate.
Yep.
So, being we're not prepared in reality to accept this as a preliminary plan, I think we can get a consensus of the members of the board present. It's not a vote, but it's a consensus, so that they can move forward. I think that this is, it's like an old sack, it's dragged along long enough.
Yes, and then some.
And, so I would,
Do you have a motion to make?
well, it can be a motion, because if it's a motion, we got to vote on it.
Yeah.
But I'd like to have an opinion of the board, and I would put out a suggestion to see if we can get a consensus of agreement. There's a majority of the board here, so we can have a consensus, right? So I think that we should have, I wanted a 20-foot with two-foot shoulders, 22 feet of flat surface will do not as well, but I guess we've got to compromise somewheres to be at least fair. And we asked Mr. Stearns from Pinkham and Greer to give us a paper. We got a paper from the fire chief. They are somewhat in agreement. So I would say that we will get an overall gravel width of 22 feet. We will get a deed with, that will mention the homeowners association, it will mention the road, and we need this 50-foot right-of-way to be deeded over to the 13 homeowners, and we need to have this road ungated. And if we can move forward with a total consensus of the board, I think that then Mr. Thompson could go back and finish up his plans, and then the onus is on us to work with the Board of Selectmen to come up with a bond issue that has absolutely nothing to do with Mr. Thompson and Mr. Cody. That's a bond issue that we have a problem with here in town, of correcting a problem that's existed, and you just happen to be the ones that are going to have to wait for it to be cleared up, that's all. But if you have a consensus of the board, I think you can move forward. I think the deed is going to be made part of the final plan. It's going to be recorded on or with the final plan, right?
Correct.
and that will have everything spelled out in it.
Exactly.
When we get that, we can send that to the town attorney so he can review that.
Yep.
And if we have this consensus, then you can get all this stuff going, and then the next time, when you got it all done, then if the board wants to vote, whether they send it to Southern Maine Regional Planning, Frank wants to make that motion, but I think we gotta get all of the ducks lined up here. We got some ducks that are floating backwards.
Okay.
So that's my resolution for consensus.
I think I can agree with that general consensus.
Yeah, I can agree.
I don't agree totally, but there are 3 out of 4 that do. I would stand my ground at 24 feet wide. I feel
I think that,
that if the association is going to maintain this in the wintertime, that road is going to end up being 16 feet wide, period. I just don't think an association can afford to keep it, or Mr. Cody, unless he buys a plow truck that will be able to keep it the full 22 feet. It's still going to become a danger in the wintertime, and that's my opinion. I was road commissioner once. I plowed snow for not as long as Doug, but at least 32 years, and I just feel that a private road like that is never going to be maintained 22 feet wide if it's only 22 feet wide. It's going to end up being less than 18 feet wide by the end of the winter. If it were 24 feet wide and then it were narrowed down to 19 or 20, then it would still be safe. We're talking fire trucks that are close to 9 feet wide going in there, or rescue units, and that's my opinion, but that's my part of the consensus. Otherwise than that, I agree with everything else.
I would also like to add to that should there be more development, that the road would become 24
Which we've agreed
feet.
to, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I think that's going to come in the actual vote, because
yeah.
we
Okay.
don't want to say more development, we want to say more lot sales, because
Yes.
after a period of time, there's the availability to sell 2 more lots or give some to relatives or whatever the case may
Yeah.
be. So you can actually get more development without developing. You can have it by just sprawl. So, David, I respect your position on that, you know? I was just trying to come up with something that I thought might make
Yeah.
everybody happy. I personally have wanted to see a 24-foot wide road all the time.
We appreciate your putting that forward, because it supports what we wish, it supports what Steve Stearns came back with, and it kind of supports, or it exceeds what the fire chief said. So if you got all these parties that you've asked to make comments on, and we've tried to fit it into the hole that it fits in, I appreciate what Doug is asking, and what we'll do is we'll finish up our design.
We still don't have a consensus.
Right. Now, you need to have us now, as you've said, go finish the design. We're going to present what we feel will meet the ordinance and meet some of the requests here, and then it's up to you to vote on it. And we may come back and say, no, we're going to do a 10-foot wide road up through there. And then it's up to you to vote it up or down. So we hear what, out of the 4 of you, what the concerns are. So we'll finish our design and bring it in for a vote. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Does this go in the folder there?
Yeah, one of them's going to go in the file.
That's the original, so.
That's the
Oh,
original.
yeah, that's
So, look, there's mine right there.
I'm sure mine is.
Somewhere's here, I had an agenda.
I would say we probably should skip to old business. Is that agreeable with everybody here?
Yep.
And take up the revision to the Riverbend subdivision at this time.
Of course, you don't have to leave. It gets just about as interesting, you know.
It's a lot more fun.
Hi, My name is Frank Gooding, representing Deer Number and 6 York LLC from last meeting on having the 55-plus age restriction taken off the condos at Road Bend subdevelopment. And we discussed it, I guess, last meeting, and you were going to look at it if you had any problems with that in your workshop. And I have nothing further to present to you unless you need something from me from what happened in your workshop.
Did you get a letter of this, did you get a copy of this letter?
I did, from Patty.
The code officer?
Yes.
Yes.
Now, those are each.
Duplexes,
Okay. Now, does each building considered a growth permit?
Each unit.
Or each unit?
Each
Okay.
unit.
So you've got 4 out there. You
No,
need
no,
4.
2.
I have one building.
Oh, there's only one? I thought there were
one
2,
building.
I'm
No,
sorry.
well, I don't
One
have
building,
4.
2 units.
Yeah,
At this point, yeah.
And you
Sorry.
understand
yeah,
the growth permit.
yeah,
Uh,
I do.
A developer like himself can only get
I
2
do,
permits a year.
yes, I understand
But then a
that.
third one can be got by an individual
Yep.
who wants to buy
The other one.
a unit.
Mm-hmm.
Did we have any other
This-
questions on the notes, Tina?
I thought we
The only
had
other thing was the information that he submitted that I forwarded to everybody,
the condo regs,
Yes.
whatever, yes. And,
I'm sure you read
sorry. Now, do those include just the people who would be living in the condos? What about the first 2 lots there?
the ones that are already built.
The 2 individual houses? Well, I'm
Oh, the individual
thinking,
houses are
I'm
separate.
thinking, but I'm thinking in terms of the road and road agreements for plowing, maintaining the roads. Should those people need to be included in any road agreement?
As much as I'd like to go back and try to get them into it, I don't know how you would do that. They're free, clear of it now, and there's no reason why they would want to sign on to something like that. As I said last time, as of the moment, which everything changes, the guy that lives in one of the houses is doing the plowing there, but I don't see how we would go back and put them in.
Where's the pig farm?
I'm sorry?
Where's the pig farm? Or whatever. That great big sign there.
Oh, boy, that's your guy's buddy, not mine. He just doesn't seem to like us much at all. I don't know if you've been much dealing with him or not.
I don't know, our buddy list is pretty short, so.
I just keep trying to put up trees and build fence to separate the signs. He kept moving the sign, I don't know.
Well,
Okay, do you have any comments on the condo agreements?
It's gonna have to be all changed, obviously, if you so approve of my request.
Are we ending up with a process, and Doug brought that up.
Yeah.
Should this happen a month from now, are we coming up with a process that what someone has to do?
that's the whole
That's
intention
the-
here,
Yeah.
is to come up with a process. And this letter from the code office will be part of this
Yeah.
change. And in the future, when somebody comes in and says to the code office that we want to change the status of an subdivision, a condo project, from age restricted to non-age restricted, we'll be able to just, go to this package, and hopefully, there will be a list generated on what has to be done. And,
Now, the other one we changed had no buildings built previous to changing. Didn't we change one?
I think it was this one that got changed from 62 to 55, but
No,
that
but
was
what
because...
about, what's his name?
Susie?
Susie,
No.
Susie.
Oh,
His is
Susie?
still 55.
over in East Waterboro?
Yeah.
His is still
Yeah.
55.
Hmm?
His is still 55.
Oh, is it? Okay, I thought we had changed that.
I think
he
it
had
was
asked.
this one that got changed from
Okay.
62 to
Yeah, I
55.
knew that.
That was kind of required
I
by
knew
the
that,
law,
but I
rather than
I
anything
also
else.
thought that one.
well, I'm ready to make a
Okay,
motion
make a
on this.
motion.
I move that we remove the age limit on
Riverbend?
Riverbend Subdivision, LLC, and that this age limit exemption removal become effective at such a time as the code office is submitted a new set of documents that passes the necessary test and is approved by the town attorney.
Yep. I would second that.
My turn to ask questions?
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure what documents, would you have a list, Tina, of what documents?
Well, the condo docs are gonna be
It has to
changed.
be changed before you can, that's also a case.
We're gonna vote on it.
Yeah, I understand. So the condo docs got to be anyway changed before I can really sell to somebody anyway,
Yeah.
so.
That's right.
That's not a problem.
My motion, just to
He
make
wants
sure
some.
that this is done and everything is signed off and agreed to by the town attorney
Okay.
prior to this going into effect. And I'll add to my motion that a new plan should be stated that this is no longer a age restricted. Right?
Yeah,
We want it,
it should actually state that on it, that it's no longer age restricted, or just should not have an age restriction comment.
well, where it is age restricted, it should be written on here that the age restriction was removed on such and such a date. And when somebody goes and does a legal review of this, when the title search is done, they'll see where the age restriction was removed. You agree with that, Tom?
Yes. Two things. You can make your vote subject to, as you suggested, the town attorney's review and approval.
Yeah.
And then on the plan, the plan that you'll be giving to the code enforcement officer, that, as Doug has pointed out, that the age restriction has been removed.
Have a note to that effect, other than just not having comment to it at all.
Well, that way there's clarity. You know, when they-
I-
as Doug said, is when they do title research, these things pop up and it
I
causes
do.
a cloud.
I do,
So you gotta have a new Mylar done.
yes, I got that.
And the Mylar has got to state that the age restriction was relinquished on a certain date. And then you're going to file that in Alfred.
Sure.
Okay? And again, there'll be a copy of the sample deed, and there'll be a copy of the condo docs. The only reason for the deed is to make sure that the condo docs are reflected in the sample deed.
Okay.
And Tom can review this along with the code officer when he comes in.
We have a motion and a second. Any more
You second the
discussion?
additions I put on there?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
You got it all, Tina?
Yep.
All in favor? Opposed? Nobody. There you go.
Night, thank you.
We had an exciting night.
Long wait to get it done, right?
Hopefully we'll sell the material to him, so we'll be happy with the subdivision once you approve it.
Good night. Okay. We have some minutes. February 3rd. We were all here, so we can vote on those.
March 3rd.
Anybody like to make a motion?
Sure. I will make a motion, we accept the February 3rd and March 3rd minutes.
Okay.
Second that.
Any discussion on the motion? All in favor?
Can I ask a quick question? If they had sold, say, 1 unit or something in that, then they would have had to get a new homeowners agreement and those people to sign off on it before we could have done the same thing? I assume that's what would have
I
happened.
would assume
Okay.
you'd have to have the people that was already in there sign off.
Sign off.
Remove the age restriction.
Yep, okay.
And that, you know,
And they could say no.
they could say no.
Sure.
And this
Yeah.
should be a note, and, you know, I hope that we're gonna have a sheet.
I was just going to say that when you look at the subdivision plan, it does include those other 2 lots, and we had people that own those 2 prior houses agree that they didn't have a problem with the age restriction being taken off that subdivision, because if you look at the subdivision plan, they technically are shown in there.
But there's no age restriction on
Right,
their
there's no
house.
age restrictions on those 2 houses, but there was on the condo portion of
They
it.
have no, but those 2 houses in there had no cost association with the road
Right.
maintenance or anything. But I hope we end up with a type list of what we, you know, what we asked this gentleman to do. And then we should have a note on that that says that in the event of any units being sold, they must sign a release. The whole thing, you know, is we've now set the groundwork on how to do this, if it comes up in the future, or at least how we did this one, so somebody else won't. This letter from Patty, you know, takes care of the issue of the growth permits.
We need to set a date.
Did you do the March 3rd minutes, or did I?
Yes,
yeah,
they
we
were
did
both
both.
in the same motion. That was Frank's
Okay.
motion.
All right, sorry. Okay.
Okay.
Is there supposed to be a survey in here somewheres for Johnson property?
Yep.
Yes,
Over here.
it's in there somewhere.
Oh,
Right
oh,
here.
it's only that little thing.
Yep.
If you look in Tim's folder, the minutes are there to be signed.
Yes, that's right.
Do you have it? Okay.
Tim sold it?
Yeah.
Did you find it, Doug?
Yes, yeah, I got it. I was looking for a large sheet of paper.
No.
Well, it's better than last week's.
The reason I put the meeting, set a date for a meeting with the Board of Selectmen for a performance bond, because isn't town meeting on the 12th? So I figured the meeting that the planning board had on the 16th would be after that, and it's not too far ahead to use that date before we get something else booked in there.
I should get in from the agenda. See what
The whole agenda.
What's the date today?
19.
19.
19th, our next meeting's June 2nd, and then June 16th, which would be after town meeting. So if you wanted to suggest June 16th to the Board of Selectmen, then that way, nothing's already put on that agenda.
Okay? They're gonna come to our meeting.
Yes.
Yeah,
Well, I'll make that a motion then.
okay.
I would second
All in favor? 10:60. Yes, sir.
Would the board like to have a sort of a draft process for performance bonding, so you see it before the selectmen do, and just something that you can kind of look at beforehand
On what?
on performance bonding, who does it, and how it would work, or, you know, like on a chart? Because this whole thing really boils down to, who takes care of performance bonding, who takes care of the dates, the expiration dates, notifies the planning board, where is the money stored, and the surety. I can work up a little draft for you and show you what some other communities have done, or do you just want to talk with the selectmen first?
No, I think that we should have a plan, because there's a letter of credit, there's a surety, there's a cash performance as a surety, there's a bond, both performance and payment. And then there's, just property collateral. And I think that we should use all four of those as bonding requirements, or as bonding tools in the town.
Doug and board, I think that those four suggestions work well in ordinary economic times. I think the challenge on property collateral is that it may require one extra step and may require an up-to-date appraisal of the value of that property, because I think that's where people would get into a debate. If I were the owner of property, I might feel it has much higher value than someone else might attribute to it. But in the past, property collateral was a great way to go. But I think now the values and prices are all over, and it would require, I would have to suggest that you'd have to, the selectmen or the town would have to do an up-to-date appraisal, which is very much the procedure that banks are doing right now.
But all four are acceptable.
They're acceptable, but the property collateral makes it a little bit more complicated and time-consuming for both you and for the town and for the applicant.
Well, on the same token, we assess people's property in this town. And if our assessing records are anywhere near correct and up to date, we should be able to use a figure of 75% of the municipal appraised value as the value that we will use in the bonding area, okay? Not 100% of the appraised value. And then if we're asking for a bond that is equal to 125% of the project, then we're actually only asking for 55% of the value of the land. So,
But those four options were the options that we had on each individual case.
I mean, we can, putting down the actual
The whole thing's
criteria by which we're going to use these always becomes a part of the, mostly untalked about part of it. But, you can put under the land or equities, you can put, up-to-date, title search. You got to have a title search done. The property's got to be signed over to the municipality. There's got to be if there's a question about the value, then you've got to just say, okay, I'm going to require you to have a evaluation done on this property by a licensed state appraiser, okay? And bring that in. But you take somebody that comes in here who wants to put in a subdivision, bought 150 acres of land, wants to put a subdivision on 50 acres of it, and is willing to put the other 100 acres up and sign it over to the town in lieu of the bond, the town wouldn't be too bad off if it ended up owning that piece of land, you know what I mean? So, and land right now is kind of in a saggy spot, but eventually it'll be back up to something more valuable again. I just think that, I can remember Roger Elliott telling us once before, he said, give me land.
Yeah.
You go to a bonding company and try to get your money out of them, and they may say they'll bond this job for $150,000, but try to get $150,000 out of them, and you're going to spend all kinds of money in court and everything else. If you've got a piece of land you have title to, I'm going to tell you it doesn't take an awful lot to say we own it, and the town can sell it. So I just think it's an option that should be on the table to be considered, that's all, Tom.
Okay. makes sense.
All right, when's that next meeting?
We need to,
Second.
second, but we need to set a date for a site walk
Well, I was thinking we'd do it
before that.
before the meeting.
Right before the meeting? Sure.
Okay,
We talking sidewalk or the bond issue?
site walk.
Sidewalk.
The bond issue is
David,
going to
didn't
be
we
the
say we're gonna-
16th.
That's gonna be the
June
16th.
16th,
We've got
yeah.
a selectmen come in here the night of the
Yeah.
16th.
Oh, I didn't
Yeah.
hear us vote, that's what you want.
So
Yeah,
you
what
want to do it at 6 o'clock on the 2nd of,
Sure.
What else we got on the, oh, that's the 16th of June.
yeah,
The 2nd of June,
2nd of June for the Johnson site walk.
At 6 PM?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's the same place,
Yep.
Logan.
Logan
Logan
Circle.
Circle.
Right, and the other item for the agenda is Roger Loge's subdivision, so.
That's right near Rogers.
Oh, for next time? Yeah.
It's on the same road, I don't know
I
how
don't
near
know.
Rogers it is.
I don't know where it is.
I looked for this and I didn't see it when I
didn't
drove
either,
through there,
but-
but
Doesn't, must be there somewhere.
guess the only thing we got left, Judy, is the form-based codes.
Yeah.
That came from me. I came into Tina and I have heard the phrase form-based code brought up
Okay.
more than a few times. I've heard it come from the Economic Development Committee more than a couple times. So I went up and Googled it and started reading
You can tell me.
and came to the conclusion pretty quickly that I wanted to get a book on it. I wanted to, if they're gonna come at us with this, I'd like to know some more about it. So I went to see Tina. Here's the book from the people that are pushing it. $63, I'd like to get it. I guess we have to vote on it on the board before we can buy a book.
We have $63.
Do we have $63 or do we have to take a collection?
We can come up with 63, but
I move that we buy a book on form-based codes.
I second that.
Okay. Any discussion? No? Yes?
Just a brief update. The chairman of the Economic Development Committee, Chris Bennett, is an advocate of this type of code, and one of the public television stations has created a short CD on how Standish did it. I have a copy of that if the board feels it would be benefit to see that, or if you would like Mr. Bennett to come in. And basically, I think if he came in, he would probably play that. In any case, it's that combined with the book is pretty informative.
I guess
I
I'd
think
also
I'd
like
like
to
to
see.
read the book first.
I'd like to get the book first.
Okay.
I keep hearing it, and I'd sort of like to do my own homework before it starts coming at us.
Absolutely.
Can, Dave, can you play that video for us to see on this screen and put it on so the public can see it too?
Yep.
Cool.
So we could play that right here tonight, and, I think that the Economic Development Committee has got some interest in discussing this, but I also think that the board, Frank has brought it forward, so I think that the board should do some research on it before we talk to anybody.
Mhm. I agree.
So we're up to speed, and I'm on the Economic Development Committee, so I know all about, I don't know all about this.
So maybe
I
you
know
guys have
some-
some money to buy the book?
No,
Oh, you're just checking.
we don't have any money.
Okay, just checking.
did we vote on that? I get a motion and a second.
No,
No, we didn't
we
vote.
didn't
Okay.
vote, I don't believe. All in favor? Any opposed?
The book
Does that book come on video?
No,
I'll go online and see what they got.
I don't think it comes in this edition. Pretty thick one. They get some good courses, though.
It appears to be everything that I see in here.
I move we adjourn.
Second, oh, I can't do that. All in favor? I don't think we need any discussion.